What is going on, YouTube universe? This is Zira, and thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to join me for yet another AFL tips and predictions video, where today the format's going to be a little bit different, because if you've been following my AFL tipping videos throughout the course of the 2023 season, we do a lengthy recap of the previous round before locking my tips in. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit under the weather, actually. That's probably putting it lightly. I've been very fucking sick the last couple of days, so I'm behind the 8 ball with the tipping video severely. So today's video isn't going to have the recap. We're just going to dive into the overall stats for the competition for round 19 heading into round 20, and then get my tips in for round 20, and then obviously next week, provided I'm bigger and better, which I'm hoping I will be, we can get back to the usual stuff. But I had a really good round. Not just because Richmond came back from about 7 goals down to win, but I tipped 9 out of 9. The perfect tipping round. And I thought to myself, Zira, you've fucking done it. You've hit the pinnacle. 9 out of 9. Surely you've pushed back into the top 10 after this round, right? Right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, to my surprise, I was one of 11 that tipped 9 out of 9 correct for round 19. So, congratulations not only to myself, but also to Team Wiggles, Vincey Boy, Benny Craig, Some Cripple, Brighton75, Matt Lamb 24, Gramercy Riffs, Macca0303, Pommy Tiger, and the blooper reel. Now, how does that shape up for the rest of the competition overall? Let's find out, shall we? We have a tie for first place. Macca0303 and Saintly12, both on 117. In second place, tied on 116, we have Benny Craig and Team Wiggles. In third place, we have a 4-way tie. We have Frio90, Vincey Boy, Madge Tiges, and Matt Lamb 24. In fourth place, we have Rockstar Pool 69 and Gramercy Riffs 78, tied on 112. And then effectively in fifth place, sitting on the precipice out of the top 10, is myself and O'Eary 891 on 111. And then we've got Magpie Army 2016 on 110, Iden Cash and Brighton 75 on 109. It's really starting to shape up. I'm still 6 tips behind. I thought having a perfect tipping round I would make up the fucking gap, but I was rudely fucking mistaken. That takes us, however... Oh, sorry, before we get ahead. So congratulations to Macca0303 and Saintly12 for holding down the top of the competition. Heading into the final handful of rounds, it's going to be very interesting this run home. Round 20 though, shaping up to be a banger. There is a lot of decent games this weekend. Kicking off tonight at the MCG with Collingwood taking on Carlton. Now, teams have dropped, and I'm probably going to make now a more of a informed decision with my tipping. But I was going to go Collingwood in this game anyway. Carlton, however, bringing back big guns like Patrick Cripps. If there was ever to be an upset, and if Carlton want to keep their finals hopes alive, this is a game that they need to win. I just don't see the Pies dropping this one. I think the Pies are going to do it by... Let's go 21. Let's go 21 points. I'm comfortable with that. Saturday afternoon, GMHBA Stadium, we're going to see Geelong absolutely dismantle Fremantle. And I think Geelong push for a top 4 finish. And to say that after the fucking shaky start they had at the start of the season, that's huge. Same time, we've got a clash. Mars Stadium, Bulldogs taking on GWS. Oh, this is a game where I feel it's a 50-50 coin flip, because both are playing really good football. Both want to keep their finals chances alive, so we're going to see a lot of games over the next few weeks where these teams going head-to-head are vying for a top 8 spot. And they're both playing a really good brand. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to go the Bulldogs based on the fact that it's at Mars Stadium. But Don't discredit GWS here. This is one I've really got to think on. Don't be surprised if I swap my tip eventually, but I'm locking in the doggies to kick things off. Saturday afternoon, Heritage Bank Stadium, Gold Coast taking on Brisbane. The Q clash. Brisbane win that one comfortably. Even though it's at Heritage Bank, Lions get the chocolates here. Marvel Stadium, Saturday night, another game with two teams vying for a top 8 spot. We have Essendon taking on Sydney. This again is another game that could go either way. I can really see Sydney coming down and doing some damage against Essendon, and I've got to make some left field selections here. I'm going to go Sydney. I think just seeing how the Bulldogs exposed Essendon last week, I think Sydney have the ability to expose them in the exact same way. And let's not forget, you know, Sydney have a more potent forward line. They've got Lance Franklin, you've got Logan McDonald running through, you've got Isaac Heaney, even though he's down on form, you've still got him in there. Tom Papley, you know, so they've got the likely bunch that can pop up. And then their midfield isn't too shabby either. It all comes down to which Essendon rocks up to play. We get the Essendon that's competitive, they'll win. If we get the Essendon that we've seen against the Bulldogs, against Geelong, Sydney have this one in the bag. And I've got to start making some, you know, some upset decisions if I want to climb that ladder. And I think Sydney have the capabilities of getting it done. Adelaide Oval, a showdown, and a big showdown at that. Adelaide need to win to keep their finals chances alive. Port Adelaide, you know, they win, they just lock up that top 4 finish. I don't see them dropping out the top 4 at all. They're going to win this game, Port Adelaide. And it's upsetting because I said at the start of the year I thought Adelaide were going to be the dark horse for finals this year. I've said it all throughout my tipping videos, but the last few weeks, man, they've just dropped the ball in games that they should not be dropping the ball in. I just don't see how Port Adelaide lose this game. Sunday afternoon, Marvel Stadium. Sorry, I felt something deep in my loins. This is a game that I think is a 50-50 flip as well, because we have seen Hawthorn pick St Kilda apart already this year. And, you know, Hawthorn and St Kilda have both fallen victim to having good starts against Richmond and then dropping off the 8 ball later in the game. So I can't really judge both of these teams based on, you know, performances against Richmond as a measuring stick, because they've both done the same thing. I do like Hawthorn here. The only thing that's putting me off is they're going to be without their big man Reeves in the ruck because he went and got himself suspended for that sling tackle on Ivan Soldo. So Rowan Marshall could have a really big game here. But then I think about the fact that St Kilda only just fell over the line against West Coast. And then last week against North Melbourne. I'm going to back Hawthorn. You got to roll the dice sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm rolling the dice with the Hawks. MCG. Sunday afternoon. Richmond, Melbourne. Oh, I'm going with my heart and my head. I'm going the Tigers here. And I tell you why. Richmond have finals chances on the line here, and whenever Richmond's back are against the wall, I feel they rise to the occasion. There are some whispers going around that maybe Max Gawn might miss this game for Melbourne as well. The fact that they've got no Clayton Oliver is huge, because Clayton Oliver has field days against Richmond, so taking him out of that middle equation really helps Richmond's chances. And I feel, compared to when we played Melbourne at the start of the season to now, we've grown as a playing group, and Melbourne have, you know, gone from a red hot start to kind of fizzling a little bit later on in the season, and I feel Richmond can capitalise on some holes that Melbourne have started to develop in their game plan. So, for the sake of Richmond keeping their finals chances alive, please, for the love of fuck, get me over the line. And the final game of the round is at Optus Stadium. Now, this is a game I've been tossing and turning in my head with, because I've said many times I don't think West Coast win a game for the rest of the season. But this is going to be their most gettable game for the rest of the year. And the fact that it's over in Optus, I feel West Coast can stand up and get it done. Something's telling me, Zero, you've got to back West Coast. North Melbourne have been playing a really good brand. They're probably unlucky that they let St Kilda run away with the game in the end last week, but who do you pick here? I feel regardless of who you pick, you're still a loser. So, I'm, again, going to go left field. I'm going West Coast. I think West Coast at home could pick up their second win of the season. Fuck, I hope I'm doing something right here. Maybe me being sick has gone to my head. But the tips I'm locking in this week: Collingwood, Geelong, Bulldogs, Brisbane, Sydney, Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, Richmond, and West Coast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another video. Unfortunately, see, I'm stumbling my words. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the recap done like I would have wanted to, but I promise you this, next week the recap comes back bigger and better. And you know, some of you guys already have been commenting on other videos and hitting me up on social media, giving me ideas for future AFL videos that I intend to do on the AFL YouTube channel I'm going to be creating, if this is the first you've heard of it. 2024 and beyond, we're going to go full AFL all out. Every single video I drop on that channel is going to be AFL related, and some of you are actually wanting me to kick it up before next year, so we can do things like All Australian and we can look at the draft. And if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. I'm open to any suggestion, any opinion, and I'm just looking forward to creating something new to share with you all. I think a AFL based YouTube channel where we don't only do tipping videos, but I can do my recaps as a different video. I'll be doing Richmond reviews, so just purely Richmond games I'm going to be reviewing, as well as obviously recapping entire games as well. We'll be doing tier lists, we'll be ranking teams, we'll be ranking players, All Australians, trade talk, draft talk. It's going to be huge, so definitely stick around and keep your eyes peeled for when that goes down. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here. Good luck to your teams this weekend, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.